Welcome back to Byerwood. My name is Stelio, and on this episode of City Skylines, we're going to be working on some more stuff inside of Byerwood. To be a little more descriptive now, I'm just going to be starting off doing some commercial here on the entertainment road, but I'm going to be jumping into housing expansion today, of course, but for today, I'm going to be placing some public housing. So, public housing, if you don't already know, or I don't know, public housing is just, housing made for low income families or people that just, they need low income housing and they either are unemployed or their jobs just do not pay, reasonable living wages. So, people need housing for, affordable housing, and that's what public housing is. So, there's a lot of different reputations that come with public housing, and I don't want to try to paint a bad picture or anything like that, but the general reputation, especially with how it's been handled in our country, is not too good. I'm also just going through and working on this entertainment street a little bit because I think that I just spread out the progress working on this street over a few episodes, because it's hard to work in one area for too long and to consistently just work in one area. So I saved like this area by this parking garage here. I've been saving this for a while, and I finally decided to come in and actually fill out the buildings that go here finally. It looks much better now that there's buildings and there's cement filling up the areas and they're not really barren anymore. Right now I'm just going through and placing roads and entrances into all the parking garages, because those need entrances and exits, of course. The roads need to actually lead into them. As much as, it's very nice that we can place parking garages from the workshop, but there needs to be entrances to them as well. I constantly go back and make changes to even the city layout and road layouts, and that's just because it's always changing in a city like this. Every time I place something new or I see something there's something else that I want to switch it to because I think it looks better. So I'm always switching the stuff around in the city. So if stuff looks different in between episodes, just know that it's like that for a reason. Right here by this Marriott hotel, I've decided to fit in another road, and I will be able to fit in some New England row houses and some more just, block and row housing, as well as some industrial units over here next to the hotel. This is the stereotypical industrial yard. There's just some warehouses and some spaces where uh, you know, industrial stuff is stored and done. I'm building some warehouses and some just general buildings, some stores, commercial, whatever, on the outskirts of this parking lot by the train station. I'm placing some trees and some shrubbery along the highway just to divide it up a little bit and make it not so extreme and so barren on the way from the highway to the road, or to the back of the buildings. Once again, placing more trees because, like I said before, there's never enough greenery, even in a New England city. But I'm always going back, and there's areas around the city where you can obviously see that I've left them barren, or they're just nothing there yet. And that's just because when I was building in there originally, I didn't really know what to put there. So it takes time for some spots and some plots and areas you have to place stuff. You don't really know like what could fit there, especially working in weird grids and weird layouts, like if you're going for a New England city or a kind of just sprawling random city with no distinct, layout or patterns. Right now, I'm going to be working and starting off the public housing. So I'm going to expand this set of public housing right here out to this, fill out this little grid area. So these public housing units are very identical, uniform, that all look the same, and they go by like villages or groupings. So there's different types of variations, and there's different levels as well. So there's higher end public housing and lower end public housing, and I don't know how to describe it, but there's many different variations. And these units of public housing are just thrown anywhere, that's pretty cheap and where the land's available, and they fit pretty much as much housing as they can in a certain area. Now, public housing in a New England city is not the same as a highly dense city like New York or Chicago, where they have those large towers and those, with the green spaces down below. And those kind of things aren't in New England cities. There are some small public housing towers, but for the most part, it's all these, short, 3-story max units where there's just these, villages and buildings for the housing. I'm just placing triple deckers here in the neighborhoods near the public housing and near this neighborhood south of the highway, because this is all gonna, most of the city is all around the same middle working class area. So all of the housing in the city is also, pretty similar. There's nicer areas and nicer neighborhoods, but for the most part, the city is triple deckers and, working class people. So there are, there will be a few upper class neighborhoods and stuff like that, but for the most part, it's working class and, triple deckers, apartments, stuff like that. But you can get a nice look at this neighborhood right here, and I'm going to keep working on the public housing, and I'm going to make another complex right here. So this is going to be in a different shape. So I have these public housing buildings, which are also very nice because, they're in a different shape as the ones before. So as much as, they're the same idea and they're roughly the same sized rooms and everything, but they're just different shapes of the buildings. So you can make different looking complexes, and you can make, add some variety to them. So you can see here, this style of condominiums or apartments would be maybe not public housing. Maybe you could consider this apartment housing, but if it was public housing, it would be, a little more expensive than normal rate. Like I said, I don't know the economics or, whatever the politics behind different classes of public housing and stuff like that, but from what I do know, that's how it works. But I'm just going to end it on that, and I hope you have a good day, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.